Hey, what's up, squad? Welcome to the third episode of the BabexPete Story. Today we're going to talk about our original move to Mixer and kind of what was going through our head and what we learned and all sorts of stuff surrounding that. So it would have been back in March of 2018. There were a lot, there were a lot of creators that were kind of talking about Twitch and Mixer and like kind of making the jump from Twitch to Mixer, and we had never really given Mixer, which was Beam before, a real thought.
We hadn't really watched anything on it.
We hadn't really, I mean, we'd briefly gone there and we were kind of like, you know, like the very, very top people at the time were sitting around like 20, 30 viewers. And we were like, yeah, I don't really think it's there yet.
That would have been like just after it switched from Beam. Like, so we
I think so.
It went from, it was acquired by Microsoft in 2016 and changed to Mixer. I remember hearing about it when it was Beam. And that was, I think, like the top people were at like 20 viewers.
Yes.
And then it was Mixer. And then, like I said, hadn't really checked it out that much, but it piqued our interest because we heard a lot of people talking about it and moving to Mixer. And
a lot of people that we knew were moving to Mixer as well. So we one day just decided that we were going to stream there.
Well, this was coming off of a pretty big break that we took because we talked about last episode. We moved, and then took a bit of a break, and then came back to it, and we were back on Twitch. We were still affiliates from when they rolled that program out. And but it wasn't really like going off anywhere. It wasn't really going anywhere. We weren't consistent. We weren't like pushing really, but then all the buzz around Mixer, we decided just to go for it. So we just go for it.
I think we streamed on like a Friday evening or a Saturday.
It was a Saturday. It was a Saturday afternoon. I'm pretty sure it was
on Mixer. But I mean, like, we ended stream on Friday, and we went, like, what if we just stream on Mixer tomorrow? And it wasn't something that was thought out, and it wasn't something that was planned, and we didn't tell anybody that we were going to do it. Until like the day of.
I think on Saturday we posted on Discord. And
like, hey, try out Mixer, and like it was crazy. Honestly, like our first stream on Mixer, again, didn't tell anybody beforehand that we were doing it. We literally just like live tweeted and said, "Hey guys, we're on Mixer."
And this was before Twitch incorporated a bunch of new features that they have today. It was pretty bare bones back then. Well,
they had the affiliate program, but there wasn't Hype Train. There wasn't anything really outside of. I said Hype Train. There wasn't really
Hype Train.
There wasn't really anything outside of like bits and subs and ads.
And as far as discoverability, they hadn't revamped their front page. It was just kind of
they didn't there. They didn't really have a lot of that. So.
And Mixer had random features for people, not just partners.
On front
page. They had Hype Zone, which was always on front page for BRs. Specifically, we were playing Fortnite at the time.
They had Up and Coming.
Which was for new Mixer streamers, which they still have. And I think there's certain criteria. I don't exactly know what it is, but you have to be a fairly new Mixer streamer to even show up on that list. And I think that was it, but we hit all of them.
We hit all of them in our first stream on Mixer. So we were on the front page of Mixer. We hit Hype Zone because I think we were playing Fortnite. And then we also were in the Up and Coming section.
I think it started with Up and Coming. I think we were in the Up and Coming because obviously we're new at streaming on Mixer. And then so that gave us a bunch of discoverability. And then because of that, or not because of that, because we were in the final top 10 in Fortnite, we hit Hype Zone. And then probably because of the residual from that, we got put on featured on the front page. So it was
quite a roller coaster, honestly. We had about 400 follows in one stream in our first Mixer stream.
That was only like a 4-hour stream.
It wasn't a super long stream. We averaged over 100 viewers, and
the vibe was really good too.
We just met a lot of really awesome.
We met
a lot of really awesome people that were really nice, and People saying welcome to Mixer and like we're glad to have you here and all sorts of stuff. And we were like, man, this is pretty awesome. And we never went back to Twitch.
No, we just went full send. And
until recently, but we'll get into that later. But we were on Mixer for 2 years, approximately 2 years. Yep. And we never went back to tell anybody we were moving, and we just kept streaming on Mixer.
I think that was a weird thing too, because over the 2 years, it felt like almost every week or every other week we'd have someone, all the way up until the end we had someone come in and be like, whoa, I didn't realize you moved, I thought you just stopped streaming.
I quit.
Because we didn't really stream on Twitch and let anyone know. We just moved.
It was a really abrupt thing. It wasn't something that was planned out, but it was just kind of that moment. We went over there and we were like, whoa, like we're meeting all these people, and on Twitch we just weren't really getting anywhere. And that was definitely due to the lack of discoverability on Twitch and how saturated it was. And Twitch is still very, very saturated now, more so even. But
we were also not consistent back then.
Like we didn't have really a base that would put us at a point where we were able to actually see growth. Like now we're back on Twitch, but we are at a point where we have enough of a base that we're high enough in directories that we actually can see some growth, and we're consistent with what we're doing. So I feel I really do feel like Mixer was the best move for us at the time. If we had stayed on Twitch, who knows what would have happened. But I'm really glad.
Maybe if we got our act together and like went more consistent and whatnot on Twitch, maybe it would have been a different story. Who knows? But
we did what we did. And I'm happy that we did it.
Can't change that now.
There were some really cool things about Mixer that we really, really enjoyed. The mix play buttons and the interactivity that you have through that is really, really cool.
So if you don't know what mix play is, if you watch streams on Mixer, sometimes you'll go to a stream and they'll have a little like interactive overlay that is right underneath their stream.
Yes.
Depending on how many buttons you put there, the bigger it's going to be, which will make the stream smaller. In that case,
that's something to note, actually. Yeah, if you guys are making your mixplay boards, if you know what we're talking about and you're making your mixplay boards, try to make them as like skinny as possible and put the buttons as like low down on the grid as you can. If you don't have mixplay and you're not setting it up, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. But it's okay. If you do and you understand what I'm talking about, make sure you put them near the bottom, because the higher up you put them, even if there's empty space at the bottom, it leaves that space empty and pushes your stream smaller, which can make it harder for people to view, especially new people coming to Mixer that don't know how to close the mix play, and it can be something that pushes them away.
Yep. So we had some extra buttons for a bit, some interactive things, and then eventually we just cut all that out and we just left 3 buttons.
Yep.
One for both view, one for Babe view, and one for Pete view. And that worked really well with our setup, and it allowed people just to click on a button on screen on the browser and it would switch our views on stream. So
definitely something really cool. That was very, very cool. Something that I miss actually now that we're back on Twitch and they don't have a mix play type thing, because a lot of people don't know, like you can still switch the views with commands in the chat.
It's not as
obvious. It's not
yet or implicit.
It's not something that's really in your face and obvious.
Yeah.
So mixed play was really, really cool. So at the time, Pete was looking for work, which I think we mentioned in our last episode, which is why you were kind of streaming during the day and whatever.
So I continued that on Mixer, and I streamed solo during the day a bunch, playing some Fortnite, and I think that kind of helped us transition into being more consistent with streaming and scheduling. That was a bit of a growing pain, kind of working out what schedule worked best with our day-to-day and getting that kind of sorted out.
We still struggle with that. We're definitely much better, but like props to the people that never ever really like miss a stream or are late or anything, because there's just so many things that come up sometimes that get in the way, or even just not feeling up to it sometimes. So the people that stream every day, you guys are crazy. Don't know how you do it.
Crazy. So that worked out really well.
Yep.
and we ended up getting partnered on Mixer within 5 months.
It was about 5 months in. We actually were eligible to apply for partner before that, and we probably
in 2 or 3 months.
We probably could have gotten it, but we didn't feel as if we deserved it.
We just got on the platform.
Yeah, like we felt like we should invest some more time in the platform and really not apply until we felt like we deserved it. So we waited until about 5 months. And we were averaging the same amount, if not more, viewers than our entire time on Twitch.
Yep.
Which was really cool to see, and that's definitely consistency paying off. We talk about consistency all the time in stream, in life. We talk about it in our Patreon tips. Like, seriously, if you want to see growth and change and see a difference in anything you're doing, consistency is key. Whether it's in workouts, dieting. Sorry.
And keep at it.
Yes.
Persevere.
Yeah. Streams, content, anything. So
I mean, you can consistently not do it, but that kind of consistency is not going to help.
Yes. So the partnership stuff was pretty cool. We really enjoyed being Mixer partners, and we'll talk about that more in the next episode.
We'll go a little deeper into
We'll go a little deeper into it. So at the time, we were playing mostly Fortnite and a little bit of Destiny. We weren't really doing anything other than that. Right?
No. That was in a very slow time for Destiny 2. There wasn't really a whole much going on.
Forsaken.
This was before Forsaken. Forsaken came that fall, which we're going to get into in the next episode. Yep. But it was mostly Fortnite. And back then, Fortnite players weren't that great. So it was okay.
So we were okay.
So we were decent. But
it also was, Fortnite is still doing a really great job at like being fresh and bringing in exciting things that make people want to grind. Mm-hmm. At the time, the Fortnite directory was a lot of kids. Thankfully, we had like a fairly core community that we were getting from the Destiny directory, and also that we already had previously. So it kind of drowned out a little bit. It kind of helped out with the chat a little bit. I know a lot of our main community don't necessarily love when we stream Fortnite because of the type of people that it can bring in. But the game was fun, and we a lot of people, I think, on Mixer specifically streamed Fortnite because they felt they had to in order to see any growth, but 100% we were just streaming it because we were enjoying it at the time.
That was what we were having fun playing.
That was what we were having fun playing. And you know what? It probably contributed to the fact that we got partners so quickly, but that wasn't the intent.
Happy accident.
We did it. Yeah. I suppose. So one of the craziest things that happened was we actually surpassed our highest Twitch subscriber count that we had before moving to Mixer as an affiliate in less than a week, and that was pretty crazy.
To be fair, we didn't have that many subs on Twitch.
No, we didn't.
So, but it was still like, it was a market difference, right?
Yes.
Like, there's a big difference going from Twitch to Mixer, and it was a really good experience. We'll talk a bit more of our experience on Mixer, but
this one's going to be a pretty short episode today, guys. Just a little bit of a, hey, like, this is kind of when we moved to Mixer. And like Pete said, the next episode is going to be more in depth. There's too much information to really combine the two episodes, so we're going to break them up.
But hey, I guess this was going to be 10 minutes or less, but I was wrong. We went over 10 minutes, so not too bad. So I think that will wrap it up for this episode.
Yep. And
we will see you in the next one.
Appreciate everybody. I hope you all are staying safe and doing well. And we'll see you 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.